In 1995, NBC executives sat in a room and seriously discussed pulling the plug on Seinfeld, one of the most successful shows in television history. The reason? An episode so controversial that sponsors threatened to pull out entirely, and what the cast did next changed everything. Today, we're diving back into the chaotic world of Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer to reveal the legal battles, casting secrets, and the real-life conflicts that the network tried to hide. Welcome to Sitcom Secrets, where every rewatch reveals something new. Let's get into it. Fact 7. The Band Parade. In the Season 9 episode, The Puerto Rican Day, the characters get stuck in a massive traffic jam caused by the annual Puerto Rican Day parade. During the episode, Kramer accidentally sets a Puerto Rican flag on fire and stomps on it to put it out, prompting an angry mob to damage Jerry's car. The depiction sparked immediate outrage, leading to protests outside NBC headquarters and intense backlash from civil rights groups. Under massive pressure from sponsors who threatened to pull their advertising, NBC issued a public apology and banned the episode from all syndication and future broadcasts. For years, this episode was completely erased from syndication packages, making it the most controversial half-hour in the show's history. Fact 6. The voice of Steinbrenner. George Costanza's job with the New York Yankees brought some of the show's funniest moments, particularly his interactions with the eccentric team owner, George Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner is always shown from behind, ranting wildly while George stands in front of him. While fans assumed a guest actor was playing the boss, the voice was actually provided by co-creator Larry David. David based the voice on Steinbrenner's real-life reputation for being impulsive and verbose. To maintain the illusion, the physical actor was a stand-in named Lee Bear, who was instructed never to show his face. David's voiceover was recorded in post-production, creating one of the show's most memorable running characters out of a simple behind-the-scenes cheat. Fact 5. The show about nothing that almost wasn't. The Season 2 episode The Chinese Restaurant is widely considered the turning point where Seinfeld found its identity. The entire episode takes place in real time as the characters wait for a table at a restaurant. However, NBC executives absolutely hated the script, arguing that nothing happened and it was boring. They tried to cancel production of the episode. Larry David was so furious that he threatened to quit the show if they didn't let him film it. The network eventually relented, but scheduled it late in the season, expecting it to bomb. Instead, it became a massive hit with viewers and critics, cementing the show's signature no hugging, no learning style and saving the series from early cancellation. Fact 4. The $1 Million Standoff. By 1997, Seinfeld was a ratings juggernaut, generating billions of dollars in revenue. However, behind the scenes, tension was brewing over salaries. Jason Alexander, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Michael Richards discovered they were receiving zero royalties from the show's massive syndication deals, which only went to Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David. Feeling undervalued, the three actors banded together and threatened to walk off the show before the final season unless they were given back-end profits. The studio refused to share syndication points, but agreed to raise their salaries to a staggering $600,000 per episode. The stand-off created lasting friction, with Alexander warning Jerry that treating them as mere employees would harm the show's legacy. If you're enjoying these sitcom secrets, take a quick second to hit that like button and subscribe. And let us know in the comments what is your favorite Seinfeld episode of all time. Now, back to the countdown. Fact 3. The Lost Waitress. It is hard to imagine the core group without Elaine Binns, but she was not in the show's pilot episode. Instead, the female lead was a sassy waitress named Claire, played by Lee Garlington, who worked at the local diner and offered advice to Jerry and George. Creators Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David originally intended for her to be a permanent cast member. However, after filming the pilot, the writers realized that a waitress stuck behind a counter couldn't easily join the guys on their adventures. Garlington was written out, and the character of Elaine was created to provide a more dynamic female counterpart who could go out on dates and hang out with the group. Garlington went on to have a successful career, but she missed out on becoming part of TV history. Fact 2. George's quit and return. Many of George Costanza's most pathetic moments were actually based on the real-life exploits of co-creator Larry David. In Season 2, George quits his job at a real estate firm in a fit of rage, regrets it over the weekend, and decides to return to work on Monday pretending the confrontation never happened. This bizarre plan was inspired by Larry David's time as a writer for Saturday Night Live. In 1984, David walked up to producer Dick Ebersol, yelled, "I quit," and went home. Over the weekend, David realized he couldn't afford to lose the job, so he showed up on Monday, sat at his desk, and started writing as if nothing had happened. Ebersol never mentioned it, and David stayed on the show for the rest of the season. Fact 1. The $110 million refusal. When Seinfeld ended in 1998, it was still the #1 show on television. Desperate to keep the ratings machine running, NBC executives offered Jerry Seinfeld an unprecedented $5 million per episode to return for a 10th season, totaling $110 million for a single year. To the network's shock, Jerry turned it down. He believed the show had reached its creative peak and wanted to go out on top, rather than risk declining in quality. Furthermore, Jerry was obsessed with the number 9. He noted that the show had 9 seasons. He was born on the 9th, and 9 represented completion. His refusal remains one of the largest financial rejections in television history, sacrificing a fortune to preserve the show's legacy. Ultimately, Seinfeld changed the rules of television comedy by proving that a show about nothing could become a global phenomenon. Decades later, the show's cynical humor and iconic characters continue to define the sitcom landscape. Which of these behind-the-scenes secrets surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive. Thanks for watching Sitcom Secrets, and we'll see you next time.